Hey everyone, it's Abigail Molina with Molina Law Group, where we freeze the fear of ICE by helping immigrants and their families arrive at a place of prosperity and security here in the U.S. Soy la abogada Abigail Molina con Molina Law Group, donde congelamos el miedo al ICE y ayudamos a inmigrantes y sus familias llegar a un lugar de seguridad y prosperidad aquí en los Estados Unidos. So we're here again today for live Q&A weekends, fin de semana. Here to answer any of your questions related to immigration law. There is no topic off limit. I will be speaking today about a specific topics that I had in mind, but feel free to ask any questions you have at all. You can do that by putting your questions in the comments below. I'll see those and get to those as soon as possible. And if you're watching this on a recording, know that we are here every Saturday and Sunday in the afternoon, and you are more than welcome to bring your questions here live to this live Q&A. So happy to be here. Happy Saturday afternoon. Hope your Saturday is treating you well. And also, if you did not know, I am not above bribing people to participate in this show. So I know that some people need a little bit of encouragement to participate, to bring their questions here. And if that's you, just know that I have a prize waiting for the person with the best question of the afternoon. Entonces, estamos aquí hoy para contestar las preguntas. Siempre estamos aquí los sábados y domingos. Si no sabía, aquí vamos a estar cada sábado y domingo contestando sus preguntas, y voy a estar hablando sobre temas de inmigración hoy también, pero cualquier pregunta que tiene, si está fuera del tema que estamos platicando, no se preocupe, puede poner su pregunta en los comentarios y al verlos voy a contestar sus preguntas. Entonces, si no sabía que siempre estamos aquí los sábados y domingos, ya sabe, y se puede saber cuándo vamos a estar exactamente por dar like al Facebook page y prender las notificaciones, y así puede saber cuándo vamos a estar aquí en vivo para contestar sus preguntas. Si está tímido y no quiere hacer las preguntas, quiero recordarles que yo doy premios a las personas que traen las mejores preguntas del show. Entonces, tal vez usted puede ganar su premio por hacer su pregunta. Pero si no quiere el premio y tiene, la verdad, una pregunta personal, importante, confidencial, no se dude llamarnos al 541-653-8899 para aprovechar del programa que tenemos de una llamada completamente gratuita de saber si tiene opciones para procesar su caso de inmigración. Entonces, sabemos que muchas personas quieren saber porque hay muchos cambios y quieren saber si tiene opciones ya, o tal vez antes alguien le dijo que no tenía opciones, pero ahora quiere saber que sí o que no. Entonces, por eso empezamos ese programa este nuevo año, para dar completamente gratis esa información. Entonces, toda la información que nos da a nosotros al equipo de nuestra oficina es completamente confidencial y no podemos compartir con nadie. Y es buena información saber si hay opciones o no. Tengo algo que contarle, una historia que pasó hoy. Entonces, pero antes de contarle, quiero revisar alguna información, noticias sobre la reforma inmigratoria. So we are going to be talking today a little bit about the updates about immigration reform. There is some interesting information that is passing around in the news, so I wanted to bring that to your attention. Also ready to answer any questions you might have about immigration law or any specific topics, cases that you might have. Don't forget that if you're not quite ready to put your question in front of the whole Facebook world, and actually now our videos are going onto YouTube as well, so if you ask a question, you might be the star on YouTube. Our channel now has, I think, like 20-something subscribers. So be our subscriber. We would love to have you. It's a new channel, and we'd love to see that subscriber list grow. So go check us out on YouTube. But if you're not quite interested in appearing today on our Facebook show or having your question presented on our YouTube channel, then make sure you take advantage of our free discovery calls that we've been offering since the beginning of the year. Many people are taking advantage of those. I knew it would be popular, but it's been incredibly popular. And we've been having a lot of people take advantage of that. So that's a way to for completely free, without cost, to be able to find out whether or not your case has options or not. Maybe someone told you in the past there's nothing that can be done, but we know that the immigration laws are constantly changing and improving in some ways. And so we'd like to be able to review your situation and let you know whether you have options or not. And that's completely free and totally confidential. We cannot share your information with anyone. So make sure that you reach out and call and schedule that 541-653-8899. That's where you can do that. So let's get started with a little bit of update for immigration reform. We know that the Build Back Better law, the legislation that passed the House of Representatives in the fall, went to the Senate in, I think, late November, early December, still has not moved. And it's still in the news. There's still hope for it. It's still not completely dead, but it's definitely the progress of that legislation is slowed down, we should say. That was going to be able to give legal status to individuals who have been here since January 1, 2011. So the status of that legislation is still unclear. That immigration reform has stalled for now. So there hasn't been any latest updates. Those that are in the know say that it's still moving forward. It's not totally dead, but we haven't seen any movement on it. And we know that there's a lot of other things that are starting to take more importance. So we may not see that come through like we had hoped. But meanwhile, there's still a lot of other movements moving forward. So for example, for DACA, is going through the process of becoming law. So DACA was an executive order that Obama issued in 2012, and it's not a law. It's just an order that an executive order is just an order that a president has the power to make and start a program. But it's come under so much attack in the courts, and that's what we've seen with the DACA program, is that it's attack after attack. Especially once Trump took office and basically vowed to end the program, there's been attack after attack, even with his departure. So that that program is now going through the process of becoming a regulation. So a regulation is a law for an agency. So it's a long process that they have to go through, but last fall they started the majority of it. They went through a process where they announced it, had to receive comments on it, and then now they're in the process of reviewing those comments, and soon we expect to see an announcement of that final regulation. So once it is finally a regulation, it will be much more protected than the executive order was. We're hoping to see, the program be reinstated again. We know that it's been open for renewals, but not for new applications. So we're hoping very soon to hear news about DACA in that sense. So that's the DACA update. All right, I'm going to pause the update and answer Chow's question. The day I was getting my biometrics done, upon arriving, I was told that DACA was stalled. Will cases resume? So perfect question for right now. We're talking about DACA and what's going on. Thank you, Chow. Chio, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Chio, maybe? Chio, make sure you send me a message. I'd love to know how to reach out to you. If I choose your question as the best question today, I will send you a small gift. So Chio wants to know that he filed his application. He went to his biometrics appointment and they told him that DACA was stalled. Will cases resume? So last summer, what happened was that a federal judge made an order stopping USCIS from processing any new applications. That happened, I think it was in July. And we're still waiting for that order to be overturned. So that case is moving very slowly through the court system. It may have to make its way back up to the Supreme Court, just like there was another DACA case the year before that went to the Supreme Court. So they're still fighting that battle. But meanwhile, no new cases can be approved. So they can receive them. And many people have been applying. I've been encouraging people who qualify to apply and get their case in line. So if you qualify and you haven't yet applied for DACA, I recommend that you do it, because we are hoping to see those cases begin to move forward again very soon. So it's great, Chio, that you have your case already filed. It's great that you did your biometrics. I'm not sure if they let you do them or not, but if you didn't get to do your biometrics, they would reschedule you and begin that process again. But basically, all of those cases are just waiting in limbo for now, waiting for either a court order or for a law to pass. And like I was just explaining a little bit earlier, DACA is in the process of becoming a regulation. And so hopefully that would give it the strength that it needs to be able to withstand these court attacks that keep happening to shut down the DACA program. Gracias, Chio. No sé cómo decir su nombre, pero él tiene una pregunta sobre DACA y que bueno, porque apenas estuvimos platicando sobre el DACA. Yo estuve explicando que el programa de DACA se puso en pausa el verano pasado porque un juez federal hizo un orden diciendo que inmigración ya no puede seguir procesando, aprobando nuevos casos de DACA. O sea, las renovaciones siguen sin problema, pero los casos que solicitaron antes de que ese juez hizo el orden, sus casos están en pausa. Entonces, Chio nos está diciendo que se presentó para poner las huellas para su solicitud de DACA y le dijeron que el DACA está en pausa. Y sí es cierto, y él quería saber si cuándo van a empezar de nuevo. Tenemos muchas esperanzas que muy pronto, tal vez en los próximos 2 o 3 meses, vamos a escuchar que están recibiendo de nuevo, porque el presidente Biden y el gobierno de Biden está haciendo un proceso para hacer el programa de DACA hacia una ley de inmigración. O sea, ya no va a ser un programa ejecutiva, sino va a ser una ley. Entonces va a ser mucho más estable ese programa. Entonces animamos a las personas que si no ha solicitado DACA y si califica para DACA, mejor pon su aplicación desde lo antes posible. Pueden recibir las solicitudes el servicio de inmigración, solamente que no se pueden aprobar. Entonces, pon su solicitud para ponerlo en fila para que cuando le toca hacer proceso puede estar ya procesando lo antes posible. Gracias, Gio, para su pregunta. Great. So that was a perfect question because I had just finished explaining about DACA. Other information that we are hearing for immigration reform, now that it's becoming more and more clear that Build Back Better is struggling through the Senate, is that the president is considering expanding temporary protected status to other countries. So temporary protected status, TPS, is something that has been around since I believe the 1990s. And it's usually for countries that are struggling with war or natural disasters. So for example, Biden expanded TPS to Venezuela in 2021, March of 2021. And so it's generally for countries where people are fleeing from different types of either political violence or natural disasters. So that is one option that Biden is considering, is expanding it to other countries. For example, Central America, due to some natural disasters in Guatemala with hurricanes or political strife throughout Central America. That may be one option that they're considering, that he has the power to do without having to go through Congress. So that would be a temporary program. This is very important. It's similar to DACA. DACA is a temporary program that could be ended at any point. TPS could be ended at any point. In fact, Trump, that was one of the things that he wanted to do, was end TPS for certain countries, and was almost successful in doing that. But fortunately, Biden has been able to renew those and extend those temporary statuses for the countries that currently have it. So that would be a great way for many people to get stable, but with the understanding that it's a temporary process that could be taken away. That's, one of the things that was difficult about DACA. I remember when it first came out in 2012 that many people were saying, well, how long will this program last? Is it stable? What will happen if they end it? And, part of me hoped that it would never be possible for it to end. But then as soon as Trump came in, we started seeing it is possible for these programs to be ended if there's the wrong person in office and the wrong administration. So it's important to understand the risks and the benefits, and always to make that risk-benefit calculation. So deciding, is it worth it to provide your information and where you live? The benefit is a work authorization and potentially indefinitely, but it could end at some point. So it's always important to make sure that you're talking with an immigration attorney about those decisions before you file anything, to make sure, number one, that you qualify, and number two, that it's worth the risk that you're posing. So that's a personal decision that only can be made, but definitely helps to talk with an immigration attorney to find out. Entonces, otra reforma que están platicando hacer, así que la legislación de Build Back Better está tratando, todavía no está muerto, pero sigue con problemas en el Senado. Entonces, el presidente Biden está considerando hacer una extensión, una amplificación al programa de TPS, esa protección temporal, estatus de protección temporal, para personas de otros países. O sea, sabemos que hay ciertos países que tienen este estatus protegido, y normalmente son países de donde hay mucha violencia o mucha problema política, o que donde hay problemas del medio ambiente. Entonces, por ejemplo, el país de Venezuela, desde marzo de 2021, las personas que están aquí desde la fecha cuando empezó, en marzo, pueden estar aquí con un permiso de trabajo de 18 meses. Y normalmente este periodo de tiempo está extendido. Por ejemplo, hay países que se renuevan cada año y medio sin problema, pero es un estatus temporal y se puede perder, se puede terminar en cualquier momento. Por ejemplo, sabemos que Trump quería acabar con el programa de TPS para muchos países, y aún los países donde no estaba todavía seguro para regresar. Entonces, eso es una opción que el presidente Biden está pensando y considerando para poder ofrecer un estatus legal a personas de ciertos países. Por ejemplo, tal vez de Centroamérica, porque ha habido muchas huracanes, creo que se dice, en Guatemala, y también mucho conflicto político y violencia en estos países también. Entonces, eso es una opción, es un poder que tiene el presidente de hacer estos planes, esos programas temporarios, pero eso es lo más importante recordar, que es algo temporal, no es algo por vida, y siempre cuando está haciendo solicitudes con inmigración es importante recordar que hay beneficios y también hay riesgos, tal como el programa de DACA cuando empezó en 2012. Algunas personas tenían miedo de entregar toda su información, su solicitud, su dirección y dónde vive su familia. Y esto fue el riesgo que tenían que pensar y considerar, de si reciben su permiso de trabajo, el beneficio, también existe el riesgo de que esa información se puede usar en contra en el futuro. Entonces, cualquier programa, sea permanente o temporal, muy importante consultar con abogada de inmigración para saber los beneficios, los riesgos y hacer una decisión informada. Es muy importante saber todo antes de hacer una decisión tan importante, porque pues puede ser peligroso. También puede ser peligroso hacer su solicitud por su propia cuenta, porque puede haber información importante que no está al tanto, que no sabe que es importante o que puede perjudicar su caso. Entonces, súper importante consultar con abogado de inmigración antes de hacer cualquier movimiento para su caso. All right. So I think we are up to date with immigration reform. So as I was saying, Build Back Better is still alive, but has stalled in the Senate. I'm not sure if we're going to see any movement on that. Also, DACA is still on hold for new applications, but we will hopefully see movement on that very, very soon with the new regulations that are going to be getting into place. So it's super important to stay in touch. And also, we're encouraging people to file those DACA applications because there's already a long backlog. It's going to take who knows how long to get through those applications, but get your application in as soon as possible so that you can get processed for DACA. And then also the TPS that we're hoping to see come to pass. There's starting to be talks about Biden's interest in extending temporary protected status to certain countries. We're not sure which ones yet, but Central America is one of the areas that's being talked about. So hopefully that has been helpful to you. Wanted to just end by sharing a quick story of someone that we talked with today that really brings to light the importance of making sure that you're working with an immigration attorney who's knowledge, who has experience, who understands the laws, because many people, they believe that immigration forms are like taxes, that they could just file them themselves, or, oh, my cousin filed his, so he can help me with mine. Each case is very specific and individualized. And if someone doesn't understand all of the laws, you can waste a lot of time, a lot of money, and potentially put yourself in a situation that's not reversible. So I wanted to share this story just as a cautionary tale because I thought it was the perfect description. So we talked with someone recently that has a child that's over the age of 21, and they wanted to begin to process through that child because that child's a U.S. citizen. And so they began the process, and it's a 3-step process, and they had gone through step 1 of the I-130 and got that approved, and then they seemed to understand that they needed a 601A waiver because they had entered without inspection. And so then they began to file that, and that's been in process, and they wanted to know what the status was of their case. They filed all of these things without the help of an immigration attorney. And so I looked at the case, and it was a husband and a wife that were both hoping to apply through their daughter. And the wife had filed the 601A waiver, but did not have a qualifying relative. So in order to qualify for that waiver, you have to show that you have a U.S. citizen spouse or parent, or a permanent resident spouse or parent. And so she had neither. So she had filed a waiver and paid a filing fee. And I don't know if she paid someone who helped her file that application. And all of that was wasted. Actually, the whole process was wasted because she is not eligible for that waiver and will get a denial at some point. The husband, on the other hand, did have a qualifying relative for that waiver, but because of his entries and exits, he has a permanent bar, and if that waiver could have been approved, and then the next step would be to leave the country for an appointment in Ciudad Juarez. And if leaving the country, he would have a 10-year bar to re-entry. That waiver that he had applied for wouldn't cover that. So he, this family was very shocked to hear this information, that all of this time and money and applications that have been filed had been wasted. And we're working on hopefully some other options for them. But I just wanted to use that as a cautionary tale, that all of that money and time wasted and hopes dashed could have been avoided by talking with an immigration attorney beforehand. So please don't make that same mistake. Don't be disappointed as that family is, and make sure that you reach out. We'd be happy to help, happy to review, even if all you do is have a discovery call with us, find out your options, and then you choose to do it on your own. I still don't recommend that, but at least you'll know that you're heading the right direction and not wasting a bunch of time. Quería terminar este show hoy contándoles una historia de algo que sucedió recientemente, y esta historia es un poco triste, pero creo que enseña la importancia de siempre recibir buena información, buen consejo de un abogado de inmigración que tiene experiencia, que sabe las leyes. Muchas personas me dicen, pues son formularios, es fácil, mi primo lo hizo, me va a ayudar, no hay problema. Es igual como impuestos, solo es llenar información, pero no es así. Es muy complicado. Las leyes de inmigración son muy, muy complicados. Pero resulta que una familia llegó para platicar con nosotros, presentaron su documentación y me explicaron que un amigo y luego otra persona les había ayudado en llenar formularios para poder arreglar por medio de su hija ciudadana nacida aquí. Entonces, habían hecho el I-130, el primer paso con éxito, no hay problema. De allí supieron que tenían que hacer un perdón, el IC-01A. Entonces, hicieron esto y está en proceso. Me pidieron que revisara a ver si todo está bien porque tenían dudas. Entonces, revisando bien, se le notaba que a la mujer había entregado su perdón, pero no calificaba para el perdón porque no tenía un esposo, padres, ciudadanos o residentes, porque su papá, que era residente, había fallecido hace mucho. Entonces, ella ni calificaba para el perdón, por lo cual había gastado dinero y tiempo llenando, entregando. Entonces, luego revisé sobre el esposo y él, aunque tenía a sus padres con estatus legal, podía calificar para el perdón, pero él, debido a sus entradas y salidas, no va a poder arreglar. Si él sale, si recibe su aprobación de su perdón y sale a México para hacer su cita final, allí le van a avisar que tiene una vara permanente, que no puede regresar a los Estados Unidos por 10 años. Entonces, todo para decir que ten cuidado, por favor. No quiero que malgasten su dinero, su tiempo, sus esperanzas, tratando de procesar algo. Por favor, por lo menos consulte con nosotros. Aprovecha de la llamada de descubrimiento. Es completamente gratuita. Se puede saber si tiene opciones o no. Y aunque no lo recomiendo, después de platicar con nosotros, si decide hacerlo por su propia cuenta, puede con más confianza saber que sí, por lo menos que sí califica. Ahora, hay que hacerlo, llenarlo todo correctamente, no lo puedo prometer, pero por lo menos va a saber antes de malgastar su dinero y su tiempo. Entonces, ten cuidado. All right. That's all for today. I'm going to be back here tomorrow on Sunday with another question and answer time. So make sure that you join us. Bring all your questions. Thank you to our best question of the day, Cheo, no sé cómo decirlo. Make sure that you reach out to me on Facebook. I'd love to send you a prize for your questions today. I appreciate it. Gracias a Cheo para su pregunta hoy, su participación. Entonces, por favor, mándeme mensaje cómo comunicarse con usted para poder darle su premio por su participación. Y vamos a estar con ustedes de nuevo mañana domingo. Puede traer sus preguntas y vamos a estar siguiendo de platicar de temas de inmigración. Entonces, gracias por estar con nosotros, que se cuiden bien y nos vemos muy pronto. Thanks again for being with us. We will see you all very soon. Take care.